So welcome back aliens, this is Navin Reddy from Telusko Learnings, and in this video we'll talk about expandable list view. So the expandable list view, so as we have seen in the theory video, so in this we have seen which this is what we want to create here, right? So we have expandable list in which you have two elements. So basically we have two elements here, which is Java and C. And inside Java, if you click on the expand button, so you can see there's an arrow here. I don't know if it's visible for you. So if you click on this arrow, it will expand. It will show you super encapsulation methods, which is part of Java. And we have procedure, pointers, and array, which is a part of C, right? And so we can also click on this one of the icon there. If I click on encapsulation or anything like methods, it will show Java methods, right? It belongs to Java, and then you clicked on methods. So this is what we want to achieve in this video. Now how to do that? So let's go back to the Android Studio. So what are the things we require here? The first thing we require is this view, the completely view. The second thing is this Java and C. This is one type of view, and the child elements, they are second view. So in total we have to create 3 resource files, in fact 3 views. We can use this one for the complete view. So in this we require a expandable list view. So inside your palette, search for containers. Inside containers you'll be having expandable list view. Just drag and drop it here. So you can see we have expandable list view there. Okay, and if I go to the text of this, you can see we have some extra stuff. I don't want these two things. I just want the closing tab, and I don't require all this padding stuff. Let me remove this so that it will look cool. Now go back to design, or you can also check the preview. Okay, so we got the elements right here. Now that's the first view we want. We need to create 2 more layouts. We'll say the next layout is, we'll say resource file, layout resource file. We'll say this is list parent, because we'll be having all the parent elements, which is Java and C. Okay, and in this what we need is just a text field. So we'll fetch the large text here on the screen, and we will set some properties here. So the first thing we need to set is the ID. Instead of saying text view, we'll set LBL parent. Okay, or why LBL? We'll say txt parent. So that's your parent element. By default it will be large text. We can also set something. This thing is not required. We don't want to keep it center, because parent will not be at center. It will be on the left side. So it will be left side alignment. And I want width to be match parent, because it will cover the whole cell. Okay, so that's our parent. We require one more for child. We'll create one more layout. We'll say new layout resource, and this is list child. Okay, and in this list child we'll fetch large text on the screen. Go back to text, and for the child we'll mention the properties as we don't want, we want it on the center but not the gravity. We want the center as, we'll use text alignment. That will do, right? Text alignment. We'll set text alignment as center, because it will take the center stage of this cell. And then we can also set, also set the gravity. I guess gravity should work here. We'll set the gravity as center. Then we require the text or the ID here. We'll mention the ID as what? We'll say txt child. So just remember this, we have txt parent, and then we have, so in this we have txt parent, we have txt child here. Okay, and okay, let me remove the text alignment. We'll keep gravity, because this is what makes this thing in center, right? Okay, nothing more I think we require here. Okay, so we got the list parent, list child. So once we have done with the layout stuff, now it's time to code. Okay, we'll start with the hard coding. So let's start with the main activity. So go back to the main activity. Now what are the things we require here? Now since we have taken this list here, which is expandable list view, we need to create object of this, right? So we'll go to main activity and we'll try to create the reference of it. So we'll say expandable. So that's expandable list view, which is here, and then we'll create the object of it. We'll say expandable list view. Okay, we got the reference. And we require 2 lists, right? One list is for this Java and C, this is part of the list, and we require a hash map which will have the reference, or which will have the elements with the key. So this pointers, this Java, C, these are your keys, right? So we'll create two things. One is list for parent, so we'll say this is list of string. This will be all languages, so you can see we have all the languages, right? So we have Java and C, so that's the list. We can also create a map. So this map will take two parameters. One is the string, which represents the language, which is Java or C. The second will be list of topics it has. So we'll say string. Okay, if you're not comfortable with map and list concept, just go back to my channel and search for collection sessions or collection and generic lecture and have a look on that. So we'll say this is topic. So we have languages and we have topics. So this Java and C, they are languages, and then we have this thing which is topic, right? And all this topic belongs to one language. Example, we have encapsulation in Java, we have methods in Java, then we have array pointers in C. We also have array in Java. Just for the demonstration, I'm using these values. Okay, so let's use languages and topics as the elements. Now we need to initialize it, right? So we have to create the object of expandable list view. So we'll say this is expandable list view equal to, we have to create the object. So I hope you know till now how to get object, right? Or how to link the XML elements with the Java elements. So we have to use find view by ID, which is r.id.expandableListView. Okay, once we got the expandable list view, now it is our duty to fill these elements, right? We need to fill these elements, which is languages and topics. You can see we have not filled it using XML, not even with the help of Java yet. So what we'll do, we'll try to fill those elements or fill those elements. We can fill those elements here itself. We can mention those stuff here. Or what we can do is we can use one more method here who will be responsible to fill the data. So we'll say fill data. Okay, and we'll try to first initialize the array. So we'll say this is new array list. Okay, then we need to initialize topics. So this topics equal to, this is new hash map implementation. Okay, and then we'll try to add some values inside languages. So we can add Java, and then we can add languages.add. We can add one more, which is C. We can add multiple languages here. It's your wish how much language you want to add, and then we'll create, we need to add the values into the list or the topics. But the topics will be again a list, right? Because every language will have different topics. So we'll create the first list for Java. We'll say new array list. Okay, and the second list is for C. So we'll say C equal to new array list. Okay, and we'll add some elements. So for Java, the elements will be, the first topic is super. So we'll use super. Then we have java.add. Let's add, next is encapsulation, and then we have method, so which is encapsulation. And then we have java.add, we have method, right? So we have methods or method. Okay, that's for Java. And then let's add for C. So for C, the first value will be procedure. So that's your procedure. Then we have C.add, it will be pointers. And the last value we have is array. So we'll use D. We have array here. Okay. Once we got this array, now let's add these elements into the hash map. So what we'll do, we'll use topics.put, because every topic, every list, so we have this topics which belongs to Java, right? And this belongs to C. So in this puts, first we have to mention the technology name, which is language, or the language name, so which is languages.get 0, the first element, which is Java. So Java topics is this Java. So you can see we have in the hash map, in the map we have first as string and second is list, right? So this is that string and this is the list. and we can say topics.put. This is languages.get. We can specify the index number as 1, and we can say this is C values. Okay, so once we got the elements, after this creation of this field, we have to say fill data. Now as soon as you call this method, which is fill data, it will fill all the values here. I mean, you will get all the values inside this lang and map. Now once it is done, we just need to show it. So now the next step is very easy. We just have to set the value in the expandable list view by saying ExpandableListView.set. But hold on, which method to use? How to set the values? So it is always recommended that, or it is the only way you can add values to the expandable list view is using adapter. So we need to say set adapter by creating the object of list adapter, or by creating the object of expandable list adapter, and the problem starts here. If you could directly add these values inside the expandable list view, the topic would have been very simple, right? But unfortunately, we have to use adapters. That means we need to first create the object of expandable list adapter. Then question arises, how to do that? It's very simple. Just go here and say expandable list adapter, which is the inbuilt interface, and we'll name this as list adapter as the object name. And if you click on expandable list adapter, it's an interface which has lots of methods. Can you see we have so many methods to work with? And so to work with expandable list adapter, we can directly pass this here, which is list adapter, but we need to still create the object of this, right? And to create the object of list adapter, we need to search for the class which implements expandable list adapter, right? And unfortunately, we just have one class which is base expandable list adapter, which itself is an abstract class. So in order to achieve that, in order to achieve the list adapter here, we need to create a Java class. So it is our responsibility to create that adapter. So we'll say my expandable list adapter. I can just use the short names here. Now in this expandable list adapter, we need to simply say, because see, anyway, we need to implement that interface, right, which is expandable list adapter. So instead of that, we can just extend a class which implements expandable list adapter, which is base expandable list adapter. Okay, and if you go to this class base expandable list adapter, it implements expandable list adapter, right? So we can use this, but this is an abstract class, so we need to implement all the methods which are there, and you can simply click on implement methods. So any guess how many methods you will be getting? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just click here and have a look how many methods we have. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 methods. So it is our responsibility now to implement all these 10 methods. Quite challenging, right? Okay, let's start with our work. Okay, so if we can just define this, our work will be done. Okay, we just need to fill up all this thing. But before that, let me just create the object here so that this stuff will be done. We'll say new my x list adapter. Okay, so if you can run this code, let's try to run this. Let's see what's the output we are getting, so that we can continue with the example. It will take some time to load, by anyway. Okay, it will take some time to load here. Okay, by the time, let's have a look here. So we have my expandable list adapter, which has lots of methods. In fact, we have 10 methods, right? So we need to override all these methods with our behavior, because if you don't override it, you will get the default output. Oh, okay, it's taking some time. Of course, it will take some time because this is Android Studio. So you can see we got the list here, which is blank. We wanted some values, right? We are not getting any value. It's because what we are doing here, we are returning null, 0. What output will we be getting here, right? So we will not get any output. So to fill these elements, we need to send. So instead of calling the default constructor here, instead of calling default constructor of my x list in the main activity, we need to pass 3 things. First, the name of the context. Second, or the object of the context, which is this. Second, will pass the language's name. And the third thing will pass is the topic name. So we need to pass these three things. So we are passing the context, we are passing the list array, we are passing the passing the languages, we are passing the topics, right? So that those output or those languages and topics will be, you can see here. Right now, since we are passing those values, we need to create a constructor which will accept those values. So I click on your my ExpandableListAdapter, go to generate and click on constructor by, oh, not this one. We need to take a constructor by fetching values, right? So let's create those object here. So we'll say this is context. We'll name the object as context. So because that is what we are sending, right? So we are sending the context, which is this object. Then we are also sending the list of languages. So we'll say list of string, which will take languages. Then we have a map, which takes string and the list of string as the value, and we'll say this is topics. Okay, and now let's have a constructor. So we'll say again generate a constructor for all the three values. Okay, yeah, so we have this constructor. Now once we got the constructor, now let's try to set all the values. Now the first thing, we need to first the first method, which is the group count. Now what is this group count means? If you see the output, what we want here, we want two elements, right? We want Java and we want C. So group count is 2. Now we'll not return 2 here, we'll return the length of the languages. So we'll say languages dot size. Okay, that's how you will send the languages. So now the second one is get children count. This is very simple. Now we need to get the children count, which is topics. So we have to say topics.get, in which you have to mention the position. So let's say if I say dot size, we don't want all the elements. We want the count. So let's if I see this image, or if I see this video, so we have for Java we have 3 elements. For C we have 3 elements. So let's say we have one more language, which is C++, and for that we have 2 elements. In that scenario, we have to send the particular topic size, right? So we have to say group position. So for Java it will be 3, for C it will be 3, for C++ it will be 2. So that's how we have to mention the children count there. Next we need to fetch the group. Now this group is very simple. For any specific position, you have to return the group name. So let's say for 0 we have to return Java, for 1 we have to return C. And how to do that? Just simply say languages dot get, and in bracket you have to mention the position, which is group position, right? Now we need to get the child. We can just use the same concept of get children count here. We'll say topics dot get, in which you have to mention the languages dot get, in which you have to mention the group position, and then once you get everything, just fetch the name of the child, which is get child position. So let's say for the 0th location, first 0th location, or one location child, which is Java. Second, which is encapsulation, right? So that's how it will fetch. Once child done, you have to mention the group ID, which will return the group ID for you. Just return the nothing else. Just return group position. And for this also return child position. This will return. That's very simple. Nothing much here. Now once we have done all the small things, it's time to go for something big. Okay, now that big thing is this one. Okay, now we need to set, let's go for the last one. We want to select the child element. That's why we'll say true, because we want it to be selectable. Okay, everything is done except these 2 things. One is group view and child view, and this is the most important part, because what you're able to see here is all because of these 2 things. Okay, it's not because of the count. Count will only give you the counts, not the actual values. The actual value will be given by this get group view, and this is the thing which will maintain that stuff. So we'll return here convert view. So our main job is to change the value of convert view. Okay, Let me just make it convert view also. Okay, both will return convert view, and let's run this. Let's see what's the output we are getting once we run this. It will take some time to load. By the time we'll discuss, let's recap what we have done. So we have created the adapter. Okay, is it there now? We have created the adapter by extending a class which is base expandable list adapter. Okay, in which we have to use these three parameters, which is context, list, and map. We need to initialize it, and then we have to set this methods, which is group count, group, children, and all the stuff. Okay. Okay, we got an error. What's the error? Is because of that. Let's check for the error. It says, oh, still we are getting null because, anyway, we are still getting null. So let's set all those values. So I think after setting all those values, we'll be solving the problem. Okay. Oh, is that the problem? Let's run this once again. I don't think that should be the problem. Let's see. Let's try it once again. Okay, while it is running, let's code the second part. Oh, it's not working. We do just set it. Okay, so let's set all these values. So since this is empty, so let's set the value. Now, why we are getting null pointer exception is because by default this is null, right? So we need to first initialize it. So when you run this for the first time, it will be null. But if you click on the second element, or if you run the same application second time, there will be values, right? So before doing anything, first we'll fetch the title. How to fetch the title? Just say string title. Okay, now from where to fetch the title, or we'll say this title is for language, right? So we'll just say, okay, let's try to make title. Let's say this is lang, okay, which will have the language name. So how to fetch the value of this? Just say we are taking a string parameter, and we need to say get group by specifying the position, which is group position. And this get group will be calling this method which we have defined here. For any specific position, it will give us the name, right? So once we got the name, we need to create the object. Okay, so we'll say, because this object will be created only once, so if your convert view is null, then only we have to create object. Otherwise we don't have to create the object, we can use the existing one. Now how to create object is very simple. When you create this object, this view, we need to fetch this one, right? This is the view. Okay, again we can. So this is the view we need to embed into this convert view. And to embed that, we need to use a layout manager. So we have to, not layout manager, but layout inflator. We'll name this as inflator itself. And we'll say this is, okay, this is layout inflator, not from layout inflator. Now how to get object of layout inflator? We have to use context dot get system, it is get system service, and this is the thing we have to use. Okay, no need to okay, just say layout. This is the constant we have to use. This is the static thing we have to mention here, which is layout inflator service. So what this line will do is it will give you the power to embed this view inside your XML or inside your actual list view. Okay, now let's create the object of convert view. So we'll say convert view equal to inflator dot inflate by specifying the layout, which is r.layout.list parent, or not child, but this is parent. For group we have to use parent, and the second parameter is the view group. We don't have any group, so we'll say null. Okay, now once we got this object of convert view, let's set the value. Now what will be the value we'll be setting is we need to change. So if you remember, we have a text view, right? So we need to update this text view with the help of our code. So how to do that? Let's go to this and say text view. Okay, which will, let's say this, we'll name this as txt. We'll name this as txt parent. Okay, and we'll say this is text view. So it will say find Okay, this is context. Is it context? Yeah, so it is convert view dot find view by id. Then you have to mention here the id name, which is r.id.txt parent. So this is how you will fetch the parent value, and then let's set the value there. So we'll set txt parent. Which value will be setting here? So we'll set text, the name of the language. So initially it will be Java, and then it will be C. So we'll be getting two elements. So this method get group view will be called two times, one for Java, one for C, and you will get it. The same thing we have to do for child also, right? So for child we can actually reuse the code. So we can just type it. One is we'll name it as topic equal to, we'll say string get child by specifying the position of child position. We need to specify two things, the group position plus child position. Okay, now once we got the topic, we need to create the object. So we can just simply copy this thing because we want to create object of convert view. Now once we have done that, the only change will be inside this will be having child, right? One will be parent, second will be child, and here we need to fetch, we need to create these two things. So let's try to type everything when we can reuse the code. So this is txt, not parent but child, and this thing will also be child, this thing will also be child, and the language, instead of language, will be having topic. Okay, I think that is enough. Okay, that's how you create an adapter, right? It was a huge task, right? So let's go back to the main. Everything seems good. Let's run this code. Let's see what happens if I run this code. Okay, we need to set one more thing. Once we got the output, we'll set one more thing. We need to set the listener, right? Once you click on the element, we should be able to see the pop-up, a toast for that matter. And you can see we got a list here. If I click on, oh, there is an error. Let's try to solve this error. It's okay, you know, normally it happens. You get errors sometime, and that's okay. So there's a problem with the topics. Topic is not initialized. Is it that the thing? This is how we get something wrong with the children count. Oh, I made a mistake here. So this is not a get group because we need to mention the count for the list of languages, right? Because it belongs to language. Dot get, and that will be group position. I think I made a mistake here. No, so this two things should be same. Okay, now I think it should work. Okay, and languages are, sorry, errors are the part of programming, right? You cannot write the perfect code every time, so it happens. So it will take some time to load. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we got Java. If I expand Java, you can see we got this three topics. And if I click on C, we got these three topics, right? So that's how you get expandable list view. So you can see we can also collapse it, expand it, collapse, expand. And if I click on pointers, nothing is happening. We want to show some, we want to show a toast here. Now why toast? Let's say if you click on pointers, you want to show the next activity where you want to show the details about the pointers. What you can do is you can put a listener to the expandable child element. So how to put that? So we have to say, what's that? We need to say expandable list view dot, we need to set the listener for this. And how to set the listener? It is very simple. Just have to say set on child click listener, okay, by creating object of on child click listener, in which you have to just show the toast, okay, which is, I hope you know how to use toast, right? So you have to say toast dot make toast, in which you have to specify first thing, which is main activity dot this. That's the context you have to specify. Then the string. So we have to specify the string. So we have to mention the language name. So we'll say language dot group position. So we should know which group has been clicked, and we'll also print the child name. So we'll say this is plus, which is what, topics dot get, in which you have to mention the group position plus child position, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so I have to set these two things. Oh, group position. Oh, what I'm doing here. Group position first. Okay, hold on, I'm just messing with this thing. So when you say topics.get, you have to also specify the language, right? Because that's the key here. And we need to mention the group position, and then after this we have to say dot get, and then you have to mention the child position. Okay, and then at the end you just have to say the toast length will be, we'll keep it long. Okay, and at the end we'll say dot show. It's so big code, I'm tired of typing all this stuff. Okay, let's run for the last time. I'm quite tired now. Okay, by the time it is running, let me ask you a question. Okay, what question for this session? The question is, who is the founder of Android? Name the person, right? So I will expect the answer in the comment section. If you know the answer, just comment it. So question is, who is the founder of Android? You can see if I click on encapsulation, it says Java colon encapsulation. So Java is the group name and encapsulation is the topic name. Let's go for C array. So we have C array. So that is from this session in which we have talked about expandable list view. If you want a quick recap, I will not repeat, just repeat the video once again. So that is from this session. Thanks for watching, and do subscribe.